This is a graphics card, specifically an Asus GTX 950 Mini. It's old, about 5, maybe even 6 years old at this point. Hell, it's not even mine. It's my friend's older brother's old graphics card from a PC that he swapped out a few years ago. I would love to upgrade to a new card. Absolutely. I would like nothing more than an RTX 3060 Ti with ray tracing and DLSS support. Now, I can't really get one though. And I don't mean, oh, it's about funding because I don't have the money. No, it's pretty affordable. It's about stock. Myself and many other people just can't get a graphics card right now. And the reasoning behind why, well, it's a pretty complex issue.
First, let's address the elephant in the room. You might be wondering, what is a graphics card and what does it do? Well, the first question is actually pretty simple. The graphics card is used to display output onto the screen. No graphics card means no display output, unless you have an integrated graphics inside of your CPU, but that's a whole nother story.
The second question is a bit more complicated to answer. What a graphics card does is run calculations upon calculations a second in order to figure out what should be visible on screen and what shouldn't. Information is sent from software and the CPU to the graphics card, which figures out how it should display that information on the screen. Well, this is a very simple and short rundown. That's pretty much all you need to know for the sake of this presentation.
Some of you might be wondering, yes, another question is about to happen. Why do people even need to upgrade their graphics cards to begin with? Well, it's pretty simple and it happens a lot with technology. As our technology advances, everything becomes more and more powerful. So an old graphics card, while it can still run those older games, can't run the newer titles, at least not as well as it should be able to. So people upgrade. It has to do with things like VRAM or CUDA cores, which don't matter for this presentation. It really just means more performance. For example, that old graphics card of mine, that GTX 950 Mini, it can run older games pretty well. Minecraft even, CSGO, everything in that range really doesn't have any issues. But when it comes to newer titles, like let's say the new Call of Duty or Cyberpunk, that's where it begins to run into issues. So I should probably upgrade.
Now that we've basically covered everything you need to know about graphics cards, here is why we can't obtain them right now.
Now, let's finally get into why it's so hard to get a graphics card right now. One of the biggest reasons is COVID itself. A lot of people are working from home and a lot of people have decided, hey, I want to get into building a PC. So, demand has gone up. Another reason is due to cryptocurrency. And boy, does this grind my gears. Basically, cryptocurrencies are very popular right now. A lot of people are buying graphics cards in order to use them to mine Ethereum. The idea is that the graphics card will pay for itself in Ethereum after maybe a few months at max. But everyone is doing this. So demand has again gone up. This doesn't really work, by the way. I myself am praying for cryptocurrencies to just drop. As soon as Ethereum starts to drop, the graphics cards aren't going to be as useful. So people aren't going to want to buy them anymore. Another one of the largest reasons why it's so hard to get a graphics card right now is because we're currently in one of the largest semiconductor shortages that have ever happened in the world. Basically, semiconductors are these materials needed to make electronics. No semiconductors means no new electronics. And one of the most personally irritating reasons why it's so hard to get a graphics card is because of scalping.
And now, a quick lesson on economics. The system of supply and demand is a very important balance that must be met. If supply is too high and demand is low, then products won't sell well and companies will lose money. If supply and demand are equal, then things are great. However, if supply is low and demand is high, a rather irritating thing can happen: scalping. Basically, if supply is low enough and demand is high enough, people will pay incredible amounts of money for what they want. Certain people will capitalize on this by obtaining some of this item themselves and then selling them back to other consumers at an increased price point. This allows the scalper to make money. It is a very scummy thing, but it works for some people.
A quick look at something such as eBay will reveal that a lot of scalping and reselling has been taking place over these graphics cards. Old cars are being resold for double, sometimes even more than triple their original asking price. While there isn't necessarily anything illegal about such actions, It surely doesn't help the shortage by any means. The fact that some people are willing to pay such amount boggles my mind. This leads rather easily into the slogan of this video: do not support scalpers. It's like laughing with somebody who is heckling a stand-up comedian. If there's no reaction, then it's likely that they will stop and the system will be over. However, the graphics card market is no such example. People have been paying these prices, and boy, are they getting ripped off. So all in all, why does any of this matter? Well, if you need a graphics card or want to get a PC sometime soon, you'll surely have to deal with these issues firsthand. If you're not interested in computers though, perhaps cars are more your thing. Multiple automobile factories have been temporarily shut down for the same reason that people are struggling to get graphics cards. Those darn semiconductors again. Some automobile factories are having to shut down temporarily because they have almost entire vehicles built. They are unable to get the electronics built due to the lack of silicon currently available.
The whole graphics card issue is just one big mess at the moment. Cody, for example, he has been waiting since the 28th of December in order to get a new card. Yet, here he is borrowing one from a friend that was made when Harambe was still popular.
Ultimately, if there's one thing that you should take away from this video, it's that you should not support scalpers. I don't care if it's for graphics cards, if it's for shoes, I don't really care in general. Don't support the system, don't support the people.
You done?
I think so.